Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is a bunch of gamers. This is our 94th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. Erebus, Part 1. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Get of Fenris.
I'm Tyler, and I play Kyle, also known as Guards the Low. He's a Philodox of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a Thurge of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm George. I'm playing Roy Mindscape. He is a Ragabosh with the Stargazers.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, my name's Thomas. I play Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Last time, the Pax returned from the Cyber Realm to the Sept of the Steel Mountain. Relaying information to Carson Leeds' Steel, they finally returned home to the Sacred Stone, giving a fetish truck to their kinfolk to help them along while they were gone, and then seeking the realms of Erebus to cleanse themselves. Moving through the Umbra, they reached the great slate and silver gateway, and the great spirit Cerberus watched them and asked them why they needed cleansing. After they answered, a bright light enveloped them, and now the road to redemption is paved with introspection and pain. Dimitri, it's a new day. Once again, the sun rises on the Sept of the Tranquil Swamp. You and your pack have moved here after moving across the country for some time, and a council is being called. It seems that something is harming the equilibrium of this gentle, wild-influenced Karen. As you stretch your legs and notice Roy Mindscape and Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers near you.
Good morning, Roy. Zeb.
Another day at this great place.
Morning, Dimitri.
It is here that you hear the call of Anita Nightstalker, one of the Black Furies who control the Karen and are the predominant force within the Karen. She approaches your group. Ill omens.
Night Stalker.
Have time to do some work for the Karen?
Of course.
It seems that we've been seeing something strange. Several dead alligators and a few people butchered, their bodies desecrated, sliced to ribbons. We know that a spiral has been active in these parts recently. We would like you to investigate and try and deal with the creature.
Is it possible there could be more than one?
It's possible. It's always possible, I suppose. But when we've gone to track, we've only found one set of footprints. But we haven't checked the latest kill, though the spirits have come to the Right Master recently and told her about it. Do this, and we will accept you as full members of the Karen, despite being born male.
This is a great honor. Then we should take a look, and we can use your skills, Dimitri, especially here.
Right, let's head off to the newest kill then, and see what we can find out.
As you move over, several miles outside the heart of the Karen, you find the bodies, flies buzzing around a dead alligator, a man ripped open, scars running along his body. You see the twisted engravings of wormish glyphs in his flesh.
What do these glyphs mean?
The glyphs read, "I have seen the light. Let gold tarnish. Let scales fall. Know that your kin will hear my call." Dimitri, can I get a perception alertness check real quick? Div 6.
Sure. Alright.
You hear rustling in the underbrush as you see a young woman throw up her hands and going, "Who are you? Why are you here?"
My name is Dimitri. We're here to investigate this, and I'll gesture to the scene of the crime.
I'm Tewila. You So you are of the Memsis, then? A fellow visionary of my kin? She goes, from your confusion, my kin are Macaulay. What are you, then? If you're investigating this, are you friends of us? Of our kind?
Friend is a strong word. We are Garou investigating this, and this taint upon the land.
Garou? I've heard of your kind, but you don't seem like anything of the legends told to me by my kin. They've been gathering up the kin to try and protect us. If you follow me, maybe we could combine our strengths. And she looks to Dimitri.
Well, I don't see why not. We're all here to solve the same issue.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Come on, this way. You guys start moving through the swamp as Tywila moves to Dimitri and goes, I have to say, it's really good to finally speak with a couple more people who speak like I do. Because they've been gathering kin, there's just a few of us, and most of them are reptiles, so not the chattiest bunch.
Well, I've never met one of the Macaulay before, so.
Okay. No, it's good. Feels lonely, right? Being surrounded by a bunch of things that don't really relate to your experience, though. That, in most cases, don't even speak your own language, or are so different that when you try and talk about your experiences, they just can't relate to it.
I can imagine how lonely that feels.
Yeah. Most of the people I can talk to were born alligators, if you can believe it.
Well, truth be told, I was born a wolf.
Oh, so you've got to be surrounded by people who understand you, right? There's got to be lots of wolf Garou that you can talk to, relate to, that you've lived besides.
And Dimitri's going to pause a moment before he says, not all the time. My upbringing was different.
Oh. I'm so sorry if I said anything that was offensive to you.
No, you're fine.
As you start to arrive, you see a large gator pit with maybe like 2 other people. As they look at you, you see something monstrous. It's a 40-foot long alligator that rises from the bog. Its nostrils flare with smoke, its teeth the size of swords, and its body covered in armor plating similar to that of a mix of an alligator and an ankylosaur from the old dinosaur books that you would read as it lurches out of the bog and the earth shakes beneath its feet before it shifts into a relatively tall and African-American man. As he looks you over, he kind of has a sneer on his face as he does a sniff and goes, Tywila, why did you bring these here? You know the laws. They are enemies. They're investigating the same thing you are. He turns and looks over you all. Is this true?
It is true.
Well, perhaps we can work on this together, at least for now. I am seized through the ages.
I am Howls-In-Memory, and these are my pack mates. And I'll let Roy and Zeb introduce themselves.
I am Mindscape.
I'm Zeb.
Well then, yes, we know that it's one of your kind killing our kin. Someone called Last through the Eternal Circle. The name mean anything to you and your infestation to the west of here?
The one you speak of is not one of our kind, but fallen to the worm.
Garou falling to the worm. I remember when you didn't fall to the worm and slaughtered many of my ancestors. I shudder to think what a worm one would do. Well, is there anything you can do to help end this creature with us?
Well, the three of us can help kill it. My packmate, Mindscape, knows a few tricks that may be able to help us track it.
I'll go ahead and activate Pulse of the Prey.
You activate it and you get a direction of where the spiral is.
I know where last through the Eternal Circle is.
Then let me join you, and we will hunt this creature, yes?
It would be an honor to have you join us.
You hunt down the spiral, and you fight as you see Sees Through the Ages shift into his great Krynos form again. You fight, and he chomps down and crushes the spiral as you tear it apart with your claws and your bites. The creature does a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing too great. Sees Through the Ages goes, I see our mutual foe has been defeated. Then it is time we part ways, he says, shifting back into his Hamid form.
Well, if you and your kin ever need help again, we will be nearby. We may run into each other at some point.
It is the next day, as you hear a massive explosion of water and you hear Zeb call out for help.
Lomans, to me!
I'm going to immediately run and rush to Zeb's help.
Same with Roy.
As you Sees Through the Ages rush through and do 4 ag as he grabs Zeb and, like a crocodile, rolls and smashes his head into the earth as he gets knocked unconscious. The great Macaulay rips him apart and kills him. As he stares at you, his cold reptilian eyes glaring.
No! Zeb!
The
And I'll charge at him.
You charge as the tail whips and knocks you straight back as you get hit into a tree, and the great creature hisses.
Dimitri is going to shift into Krynos as he gets ready to jump into the fray, and he shouts,
Why?
The great Macaulay spends a point of willpower so that he may speak fluently in English in his Krynos form. His voice is guttural and deep.
You are Garou. All of you are of the worm. I recall you killing my kin, the atrocities you committed during the War of Rage. You are worm-tainted to your core. Your actions do not matter. The legends of your brutality speak for themselves, and I will not let your foul influence destroy Tawila.
As you feel searing pain shoot through your body, Dimitri, as this hand pulls you up. It is a silvery Krynos as you see purple veins pulsing through it. Your body dripping molten silver as the flesh on your body tries to knit itself back together as the creature leans in and simply asks,
What is the meaning of my parable?
and at first, Dimitri almost howls to fight back in defiance, and then when the question is posed to him, a dawn of realization comes over him. And he says, the past deeds of a people are not the crime of the individual.
as the creature seems to shake its head.
Perhaps, but perhaps look to your own past for answers.
As you are shoved in, Dimitri, it's another day waking up at the Sept of the Tranquil Swamp. There's rumor that spirals have been attacking and destroying alligators and people, mutilating their bodies. You hear the howl of Anita's Night Stalker calling for you, seeing if you could help. Of course, your packmates Roy and Zeb there waking up with the howl along with you.
And Dimitri wakes up again, and do I remember
It's like
what just happened?
It feels like a dream, like a bad dream.
Zeb, Roy, I think something is going on.
Other than the BSD attacks against this place?
Yes, other than that.
As you hear another insistent howl,
I'm having a sense of deja vu.
Night Stalker trots over in her lupus form before shifting to Hamid. Are you all this slow? Is there mud in your ears? Or is it that men cannot actually take orders from women? I wonder. The Fury says, her eyes glaring at you.
I apologize, Night Stalker. How can we help?
Spirals have been killing humans and alligators. And we want to know why. We think it's just one. Every time we've gone to those areas, we've only seen a set of footprints. A single set of footprints. But we aren't sure. The latest one we haven't done any real investigating at. Perhaps you could look into it, you and your pack. I was going to offer that perhaps if you do this for us, you could be full members of the Sept of the Trincle Swamp. But with this level of insubordination, perhaps you can only stay here another few months and perform more deeds for the Karen proper.
If a few more months are necessary, Night Stalker, we will gladly follow through.
Good. May Gaia go with you.
And Dimitri is going to say, Zeb, Roy, I'll explain on the way over, and I'll take both of them, and I'll explain the dream that I had, and how I have this sense of deja vu, and the question that the Mokole asked me. I gave it the wrong answer, but I think I was close.
Well, the Karen is a wild Karen. Maybe that's where your dream came from.
I don't know. Zeb, do you have any words of counsel?
I'm amazed you've met a Macaulay. I thought they were gone. Listen to what they have to say. Maybe they were trying to connect to you personally.
As you get to the bodies, it's a ripped up alligator, flies buzzing around, the human torn to pieces, the fragments and raggedy skin carved with wormish glyphs.
What do these glyphs mean?
The glyphs say, your kin will never be safe from us. We howl to hunt you. We know where they all are.
Wait, no. The glyphs were different in my dream.
Dimitri, can I get a perception alertness check, please?
Sure.
Div 6. You hear something right behind you.
And I look behind me.
As you see a young African-American woman going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you kin to me? Do you move through the streams of memory?"
No, we don't. We are Garou. My name is Dimitri, and these are my packmates, Roy and Zeb.
Why are Garou investigating this? Did you kill them? I've heard legends from my kin that you... As she looks at herself, she gets very fearful and grabs a knife, that you hunt our kind.
And Dimitri is gonna raise his hand and say, "No, we're not here to hurt you. We are here to investigate what is killing these people."
Well, there is a wallow nearby, and there are great Macaulay there. Perhaps they can help you, and you can help us.
Maybe. Well, you go and lead the way, and we will follow.
She looks at you, kind of seems a little deflated. It seemed like she had something on her mind to talk about. Okay, sure.
Wait, hold on. Is there something you want to say?
I just wanted to talk. Look, it's so hard to talk to people who have, the same experiences as I do. Like having thumbs, growing up in a human world, or at least being able to connect to it. Most of the kin here, and most of the Macaulay here, come from alligators. And so it'd be nice to talk to someone. There's only 3 or 4 of us human kin left, and I just wanted someone to talk to.
Well, of course. We'll talk on our way over.
Okay, as you begin, and she goes, "Tell me about yourself, Dimitri. Like, It's got to be lonely being like, if your sept is anything like our wallow, then, right? You're probably one of the only human-borns there.
Well, actually, I was born a wolf.
Oh, really? So then you've got to have lots of people to connect with. They've got to be real accepting of you.
No, my upbringing was different, but I guess in some ways I was able to find people I could connect with, but not other wolves.
Got it. Yeah, it was similar to me. I had to get moved out of town before I got hunted down by this rogue Garou you guys are hunting. But yeah, I've always had trouble connecting to people in the regular world too, especially here in Louisiana.
Yes, my pack and I, we came all the way from Wisconsin.
Really? Wow. Wisconsin's just as bad to buy people too, I hear. As you get to the wallow and you see the great alligator once again rise as he shifts back to Wheeler. Why did you bring them here? Garou. Vile things.
You know, we mean you no harm. We seek the same killer.
Oh, so you hunt your own now? Is it because the changing breeds are so few, your anger must turn upon each other?
No, he's the one that we're hunting. He is not one of us.
New factions in Garou. Interesting. Regardless, I am seized through the ages, elder of this wallow.
I am Howls-In-Memory, and this is Mindscape and Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers.
Well, can you help us hunt this Garou then?
Yes, we can. And Dimitri will look over to Roy and say, Mindscape.
Dimitri.
Well, we know that this Garou is called Hunts Through the Bitter Darkness. Does the name mean anything to you?
It doesn't, but Mindscape knows a few tricks to track it down.
I'll go ahead and activate Pulse of the Prey.
You find it? The spiral is a few miles north of you.
I know where it's at.
As we're on our way over, can I try to pull Roy and Zeb to the side and say this is more or less exactly how my dream was going?
Sees through the ages, goes, wait, I will accompany you to make sure that you do not lie about the death of this Garou.
Of course, you're welcome to join us.
As you go, you hunt the spiral. Once again, very similar. Clenched in jaws, you guys rip it apart. Sees through the ages, goes, well then, it seems our task is done, and our alliance dissolved.
Oh, until we meet again.
Until we meet again. As he moves off. It is the next day, as you hear Zeb call out,
We are betrayed!
As you rush, Zeb in his Hamid form gets smashed against a tree, his head splattering open like an overripe melon.
Deb! No! And I'll go ahead and charge.
As you charge, as you're shifting into Krynos, right as you hit Glabro, the teeth shear through you and rip you in half as the intestines spill upon the beaches. As the great Macaulay turns and hisses at Dimitri.
Dimitri is going to stand his ground, and he says, I believe I know the lesson to your parable now.
As you feel your body getting ripped up through the lava, as you feel the hand grab you, and the whole swamp melts away as you see nothing but searing hot magma that burns out your eyes, turning everything black before it returns to normal as the same silvery Krynos creature hangs over you, the pulsing violet veins.
Tell me.
I was blind with hate and fear. I killed an innocent where I could have made a friend.
As the thing smiles, as you see him pull up a great spear, the shaft crafted of slate and the tip of silver, as he pierces it through your side and lifts you over a little railing of stone before he slides you off as you splash into the magma and continue down the way. Zeb, you're walking down an old country road. Farmland as far as the eye can see. You walk with a man who looks familiar. It's on the tip of your tongue, but then you remember he's your traveling companion. Good old Jonah, walking along with you.
Picture perfect, isn't it, Jonah?
Always. The fields are kind, right, Zebulon?
They are indeed. Harvest soon, the best time.
Begin moving along. This farmhouse is every few hundred yards or so. When you start, it sounds like you can hear shouting from nearby farmhouses as you travel.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, people being rowdy. Be careful. As you move along, you see that the road forks, and Jonah goes, "All right, you take your pick, Brother Zeb."
I'll look to the left first.
Okay. The left is once again an ever-expanding field of corn and wheat, and the right is similar. They're very difficult to discern for you.
Well, I say, Jonah, it looks like two paths that might lead to the same place. There isn't too much difference between either one. What do you say?
Please, I've given the choice to you. I don't want to step on your decisions, nor choose the road you walk.
To the right, then.
You sure you want to do that, Brother Zeb?
Kind of get that jaundiced eye.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Let's
sure.
go. Let's go, Zeb. As you begin moving down the winding road, night comes, and Jonah goes, "All right, let's pack up, or let's make camp. We should be able to get far enough to the side. We should be able to get far enough to the side so we don't get hit by no trucks."
All right. I guess it's all farmland, whether it's a shed or just a spot in a ditch.
Yeah, basically
Go
that.
find
Yeah.
something, and I can ride to the cardboard palace it.
Perfect. So yeah, you do that. You start sleeping. As you wake up in the middle of the night, Jonah seems to be missing.
I'll get up.
All right.
I'll look around.
You look around. It's just cornfields. You can't seem to find him. As the tired starts to kind of like really get into your eyes or eye.
Jonah.
As there's no answer until you finally just feel the sense to go back to bed.
All right.
As you wake up, there's Jonah there packing up his sleeping bag as he smiles down at you. Well. How's it going, sleepy brother Zeb?
I guess I was more tired than I thought. Say, did you take a little walk out last night?
Oh. Yeah, it's just, I was, conversing with some spirits, and I bumped into some fellow Garou, Brother Zeb. Just had us talk, and I didn't want to wake you.
Oh, I called out for you. Maybe you didn't hear me.
I guess I didn't. I'm sorry.
Anyone I might know?
No, but I don't think so, but who knows? As you walk along, you see two travelers, also moving in the opposite direction.
Hey, Dimitri.
Yeah, Roy?
Which one of your spirits are the favorite? Which one do you have a liking to?
I can't really say for sure. I guess I've always had a soft spot for rat spirits.
As you pass, you see Jonah and the two fellow Garou lock eyes, and they give each other a knowing nod. As you continue on, and there is but another fork in the road, and Jonah goes, "Hey, Brother Zeb, you mind just picking this path again? I'm just curious what path you think is best for us."
Who are those two back there?
"Oh, some fellow Garou I talked to a while ago. Another pack I worked with. Great Garou. I'd known him for years, and they're very trustworthy. I just wanted to converse with them, catch up on the old times, you know?"
Times. I suppose we go right again.
All right, Brother Zeb. That's what you think is best.
I think so, Brother Jonah.
As you move along, you get to a farmhouse at the end of the road. The farmhouse is familiar. It's yours. It's always been yours. Calling back visions from another time as you remember your eye being ripped out, but you can't remember why. Jonah's there, but you don't know why, as it kind of echoes through your head over and over and over again.
I've been to this place before, and so have you. I'll kind of grab him by the arm. Who are you? Why did you bring me here?
As he calls out, "It's happened! He's finally turned!" As you see another Garou step out. She is the image of Anubis as she walks out glaring. As you see the other two Garou from before walking behind her, also in Krynos, as she grabs you. As you hear Jonah going, "I put the path before him. He didn't notice them. The worms eating at the roots of the corn. He didn't notice the paths he chose as rot was happening in the distant field, walking with the oil slicks just beneath his feet, just outside of his perception. I thought I could lead him down the right path, but he always seemed to choose wrong, regardless of what I said, or regardless of whatever attempt I did to draw him back. He's too far gone, just as I told you last night." As she lifts Zeb up and you see the silver blade pierce through his heart as Zeb, you're pulled up through the molten silver, hanging on a spear, shoved through your chest as you see the silvery Krynos, the violet veins pulsing, and it goes,
What was the meaning of the story?
He'll kind of cough. This is a lesson in moral cowardice. All the great gifts that Guy has given, and I refuse to look at them. I refuse to share wisdom and hoard it as secrets. I was perfectly happy not to look around and actually say something and do what we're supposed to do. Scout and watch and make it known. Instead, I kept walking. There's nothing better than a secret, and one that you keep to yourself.
Who did you fail to tell?
as your feet barely touch the silver, as you feel your toes literally burned away as you get lifted up and the little nubs start slowly reforming into feet.
My pack mates, my friends, fellow Garou, everyone. Fellow Striders, anyone that would listen. I didn't need to ask questions, I just needed to say what I saw and what I thought and make a choice and stand behind it with some goddamn conviction.
Oh, so very close. So close. But perhaps not close enough. Think deeply about who you told. Think deeply about how this was you.
As you get dunked into the silver, as you're on the road again, walking with Jonah.
Okay.
As you move through, once again, he keeps asking you to pick paths, and he keeps asking you, even if you change your path, why? Even after you investigate, why? Disappearing, saying that he was going to talk to people. There was another time when you saw Dimitri and Roy show up. Jonah goes, "Roy, can I talk to you for a moment?" As he moves away and starts talking to Roy about something. You do notice a couple cursory glances towards you in particular, until you once again get to the farmhouse. You grab Jonah, and Harmony of Solace picks you up and drives the blade through you as you're once again lifted out, but this time simply held.
I told guards the low, after it was too late and the worm had already begun to speak to me. I had planned to kill them if it came to it, because I believed that they had fallen and I believed the voice in my head. But I didn't tell anyone else because I was too ashamed and too scared. I thought Kyle and I could maybe do it. Certainly him. That would be what it would take, because I couldn't take Roy or Dimitri alone. And I couldn't stop them, and I was too ashamed to tell anyone else and let the secret get out that my pack had fallen.
Not quite, Zebulon. Not quite. No. Think. What did you fail to do? What did Jonah fail to do to you?
So you get slowly dunked back in. It plays through. What parts would you like to focus on?
Oh God. Guys, I'm gonna keep on making guesses in the dark because there's only one other thing that I can think of. I'd say passing. If focus on anything, would be passing Roy and Dimitri on the road.
Okay. You want to go back to that part specifically?
Yes.
Okay. So once again, as you get to another crossroad, and Jonah asks, he simply asks, "Are you sure? And is this the choice you wish to make?" And says nothing else to you, but he looks concerned. As Roy and Dimitri arrive, he talks to them. You've wandered with them before, they're a fellow pack. Before he takes Roy to the side and seems to speak to him, once again, them sharing glances towards you, as he seems to be pointing back to the crossroad and explaining something deeper to Roy as you watch. He keeps explaining he seems to go into greater detail to Roy, but not to you.
I'll step up to the conversation.
Okay.
Walk up to him.
As you walk up to him, Jonah kind of goes quiet. Zeb?
There's more to this choice. Where are we trying to go? I could use your help in figuring that out. Continuing to go in the same direction over and over again is my inclination, but it doesn't feel right.
Jonah goes, perhaps. Well, Zeb, looks like Roy here was on the same path as we were, right, Roy? As he pats you on the back.
We were.
Where were you headed, Roy?
I'm on my own path. Thankfully, Dimitri came to me and told me what I did wrong when I was about to mess up. That's what packs are for, right?
That is what packs are for. Where's your pack, Jonah? Are we a pack?
Yeah, we've been a pack. Bound to Owl. Been watching you make your choices.
I've been going it alone for a long time, Jonah. I'd like to stop going it alone. Going it alone's a bad way to be.
Yeah, it is. Maybe I haven't given you enough guidance. Looks like you thought you were making the right choices. Maybe I should have said something.
Maybe I should have asked.
Maybe. Sometimes you gotta know something to know the right questions to ask. Isn't that right, Roy? As he taps him on the chest with a smile.
Yeah.
As you are lifted out of the silver once again.
Well,
I tried to act alone. Same mistake my own father made. I thought I could. And I thought I knew, and I didn't. I didn't ask anyone. I didn't even think to ask. Certainly didn't think to ask for any help other than Kyle when it was far too late. And even meekly then, not really asking. Not really needing help, saying maybe, conditionally, wasn't direct. Wasn't what a Garou in a pack would have done.
As you feel a shudder, the thing asked,
did Roy know what to do? With your vague hintings to him?
No. I decided to be clever instead of direct, and actually help him, and counsel him, and ask others the right question. Real information. Instead, I withheld and was cryptic. I did not help him. I certainly did not lead him.
As it nods and lifts you and goes,
That is the correct answer. There will be no further prodding from me. Learn your lessons better.
As you get dropped into the silvery river. Roy, you are on a great mountain. You sit before Chimera. The spirit looks at you and goes, Roy Mindscape, are you ready to see yourself?
No time like the present.
As he grabs you and flings you, as your owl wings spread open, and you pass through a mirror, and you find yourself in a desolate plain. There are only a few stars. It is almost pitch black. There is no sky nor ground beneath you, just a swirling void with only a few floating islands of earth. The wind howls around you, screaming in all directions. Occasionally a chunk of earth belts forth a bit of fire before the fire dies down after its spark of brilliance, as there are several of these islands before you.
I'll go ahead and fly to the closest one.
As you fly to the closest one, the land is parched, dry, with the exception of one thing. a small, fouled puddle of water. Within it, you see the face of Zeb, then the face of Dimitri, Cora, Kyle, Morgan, and finally, Lisa. As you see the image of Lisa reaching up and touching the edge of the water, the surface.
I'll instinctively reach out and try and make contact with her hand.
As you touch, you hear a hammer strike an anvil. And you see it strike again. As you hear Lisa, you are then there seeing Lisa screaming, begging as the hammer strikes her again, as you see her body becoming more and more amorphous, as she begs the blacksmith, Why? Why are you doing this? As you look and the blacksmith is you. His eyes are cold and unflinching. As you hear yourself say,
I can't have any connections, Lisa.
It strikes again, as Lisa is a coin. You see yourself turn and throw the coin to you. You catch it. You feel the coin squirm slightly within your grasp as you hear the distant shrieks in the back of your mind. And you hear yourself say,
Even if she was forged, it was worth it to destroy that leech, right?
It's then that you see yourself on the anvil. The hammer strikes as you start to shift, a coin tossed into Lisa's hand. After that, you are striking Lisa again as it cycles again and again and again and again in what feels like eternity. The act of being forged and forging, a continuous cycle, until you gasp in a river of silver, it burning your flesh as a spear is piercing your heart and holding you against a stone. And you see the strange silvery Krynos go,
What was the lesson?
My actions have consequences, and no good deed goes unpunished, so to speak. For living in the Garou world, one must separate themselves to fight for Gaia, but also to live.
The spirit shakes its head as it pulls the blade out, and instead you get a solid hand over head dunk right down to the bottom of the river, as if to tell you how far off base you were. As you are once again, you stand before Chimera. Or Mindscape. Are you ready to see yourself?
I never was until now.
As you see a mirror appear behind you, gaze into it. Gaze into it. And see yourself.
I'll go ahead and turn around and step closer to the mirror.
You look as you see that same desolate waste before the ground beneath you seems gone and your wings hold you aloft. Barely any slivers of light, howling winds raging within this realm, within you. Small patches of land, strange bursts of fire, the fire giving off howls of its own, sparks of inspiration. The land parched, almost no water upon it, and the little water that is there is fouled.
Is this how far gone I am? Is this how empty I feel inside?
Another flare of fire.
I'll go ahead and fly to the closest island again.
Okay. As once again you see the glimpses of your packmates and Fomori's Bane and Lisa within the pool.
Are you what little hope I have left inside me?
As you see Lisa's hand reach out.
I'll go ahead and reach for it again.
As you once again see yourself forging her into a coin before it once again mentions, it would have been worth this, right? Just a single coin. You killed a leech. All it was is this agony that you gifted upon her. as he flicks the coin to you, and you see yourself being forged as well, as you feel the pain ripping through you. You feel your mind thinning along with your body. It thins and gets stretched as you feel yourself trapped within the coin. You can't feel anything. You can't see anything. Only the pain, only the screaming darkness, and being thrown as you feel yourself being thrown to the air and landing into the hand of someone else before dropped into a purse with other screams and other unfortunates who were forged into the coins of Stygia. Before once again you impose that fate on Lisa. Impose it, smashing, attacking, talking about destroying the worm. Any price is worth it. Before once again awakening and being held up in a net by the Guardian, its silver body and violet veins pulsing.
No life is worth that torment.
Yet you would impose it.
I was blind at the time, and now I understand that life is precious.
Why are you willing to risk her existence?
Because I don't deserve those that love me.
And so she deserved to be a coin.
I understand now that others do love me, and I should value them more. Love them back just as much.
You are getting closer, but you aren't here yet. Roy Mindscape, escape suggests more than one mind. You would think you could count your minds on at least one full hand.
As you slide back into the silver. All right, George. What parts would you like to focus on to try and get clarification?
Not Chimera. I think I want to look at the different islands.
Okay. As you go through the different islands, as you touch them, you regain your sense of balance. Every time you land, you hit, and there's finally an up and a down. It doesn't matter which side of it you touch. It creates an up and down to ground you, for a lack of a better word. On some, once again, you'll see flashes of fire burst out of it. And on others, there are tiny, almost insignificant pools of water, though they seem fouled in some ways. The other very important thing is the constant howling wind. You're able to keep yourself going even in these hurricane force winds. The wind more powerful than anything else. Along with the most light you get are from the flashes of fire. And in the sky above, it is as if it is a night of the new moon.
Great Guardian, I think I understand now.
You feel yourself pulled out of the howling winds and back over the silver. And it looks at you expectantly going,
Then tell me. Choose your answer very carefully.
I lack compassion for my Garou, for my fellow Garou. The land was not balanced in all its glory. Islands. So I lacked meditation. Fire was around. It is instinct. Wind. I focused too hard on Kalindo.
As you found, you lack your water mind. But there's one last bit I need before I can let you flow down the river.
The water is tainted. Foul.
Why did you let Lisa risk being forged all that time ago when you marched with Carson?
Because I lacked compassion for her.
Correct. There will be no more hints in the future. You have used them all. Suffering is cyclical, and you have always refused to break the chain.
as you are dropped and you slowly move along the river. And so, Kyle, you find yourself in a kind of clearing. It's not quite the Sacred Stone, but you do notice representatives from every tribe sitting there, nodding at you. Behind them is a large panel of colored glass that changes the world behind them. They nod, seeming kind to each other as they look to you and motion for you to sit by your own glass.
Is it like... Oh.
So it's like a...
Like stained glass?
Yeah, it's like stained glass that's like in this giant oval behind almost like a stone, a sitting stone. It floats behind it.
Is there any pattern on it?
Yours has the glyph of the children of Gaia above it.
Okay, I'll take a seat.
As they begin talking, and there's a long council discussion about facing the worm and how to fight the worm. There's then a break called as you turn and you look inside your own glass, so to speak. As you look through it, you notice festering in certain places. Maggots eating away at certain trees, but not others, to varying degrees.
Is there anything different about the trees that they're eating versus the ones that they aren't?
They're trees that these trees resemble things that resemble almost like war to him. The trees give off an air of combativeness somehow, of certain foulness. They just remind him of things that Kyle specifically doesn't agree with or views as primary things to battle. And when you touch the glass, the hue changes slightly, and the spread of the maggots changes just a little bit, though very similar within your line of thinking. But there's a few changes. The tint has changed as the glyph now says guards the low, as it can switch back and forth between you and the children of Gaia. There are also 12 additional floating pieces of stained glass.
Okay, I suppose I will start at whichever one is to my left.
Okay. As you start looking, you get to the first one, which is the bone nars. It has the symbol of the bone nars. You notice that when it became your personal stained glass, there were similar maggot trails where it was really focused on this one. The maggots are in different places, though. Some overlap, but not all.
Do they overlap just physically or also with my feelings?
With your feelings.
Does anything change when I touch this glass?
No, not in this case.
Okay. And I'll move on to the next one.
You get to the next one. It is that of the Black Furies. And you notice that the maggots are in lots of different places. Some, once again, overlap with yours, but they see maggots in different things, or that the maggot presence is stronger in certain areas that were only mild to you and your glass, or the child of Gaia glass. And once again, it's very similar across all of them. There's some overlap in all of them, certain ones clearly more so with others. When you see a wizened old Garou kind of approaching, going, enjoying the glass?
I suppose, trying to make sense of it, see how they relate.
Oh, well, they're all crafted from sand, all glasses, but, they're forged and added so many different things, the cooling, the heating, the extra materials, everything that goes along to forge these things are so different, and they see the world so radically different. But they do see it. But if you, as you see him wave his hand and you see them all condense into one, the vision is muddled, almost unfocused. You see maggots in 100 different directions or in different places in varying levels of quantity as they seem to shift and shake in every which direction as he waves his hand and going, as they resplit apart. Sometimes focus is important, isn't it?
I suppose so. If one person has to be focused, well, I suppose not focused, on every single thing that could go wrong, they're far more likely to miss something.
Well, and it's how they're forged, isn't it? To bring out the color, to see what cannot be seen without experience. But without the glass, you can't see what they can see. Not perfectly. That's what trust is for. Before you feel a big old hand grip you on the shoulders, you see Steven smiling down at you. Full Krynos. Big old arms.
Hey, Steven.
Hey.
Kyle will get up for a big hug.
As he picks you up and he gives a light squeeze, though for you it feels like a very strong squeeze as you are in Hamid form, as he goes, you lived like most of us for most of your life. You see things I see because of it, but there's others you can't see. You aren't a rat. You don't suffer rat struggles. As he puts you down, and you hear Fate Dancer behind you. It took you time to see what I see, and you finally stood up because you started to understand what I see. Think of my lifetime. Think of my experiences. Imagine how I've been tempered to see the worm in the human world and our own failings. I've been tempered differently. Who I am and who I serve lets me see that in a way that being told can't.
I will nod slowly. I understand what you mean, I think. I wanted so badly to understand exactly where you were coming from, but I couldn't do that without experiencing it myself.
As you are lifted up from the silver.
What was the lesson then?
I think my vision of unity has been too limited. The tribes exist for reasons, for purpose. We can focus on different things. We understand the world differently. And from each of our own perspectives, we can learn how best to combat the worm. But by trying to merge everything together, not by fighting for unity, but by fighting for unity only through the frame of reference of the children of Gaia, we will misunderstand the other tribes. We need to trust the other tribes to do what is right for themselves first, not force or even convince them to do things solely our way.
You may have to wait for your friends a while, for you must pass through the river, and I have just heard them douse Zebulon back into the fires for failing to answer his way.
The wait will be worth it.
As you get dropped in, as you splash back into the silver and get carried off. Alright, next is Cora. You awaken in a cool cave. The fire from last night has gone out. The animal hides to protect you from the wind and the cold, just off to the side to get dressed as you hear several howls and growls outside.
I will go investigate what's going on.
You go investigate as you see the elder, huge, growling, a true representative of the totem of wolf, the totem of the Garou nation. As he growls and snaps as going, brothers, sisters, my pack, my set, it is time that we come together. The unnatural things, those who spit in the eyes of death, who hoard life, must be wiped out, crushed. Cora, as you see your pack mates, Kyle guards the low, and Mark guides the fallen, standing there listening intently to the elder. For too long have we let them slide beneath our notice, but they corrupt and destroy the natural order after their cadavers have been pierced and they rise up from the dead. No. We have this one, as you see a man step out, his head bowed, soars along his arms as the elder goes, the Garou are true worm beasts. Monsters that must be crushed by us. Anyone in the crowd, sense the worm on this beast. Do it! Show the world, show to Gaia what monsters these bear changers are.
Kyle will hold out his worm fang.
It turns green as he goes, see? What more evidence do you need? As the Garou goes, but I used the right. I cleansed the earth. I drew the taint in myself so that the land could heal. A likely tale. Do you see? The Garou are our enemies. I declare this a war of rage. For it is our duty to rage against Gaia's false children and cast them away. It is the Garou who will lead. We should have known. They refused to resurrect our warriors. They hoarded this secret for themselves. As you see him grab a crude blade of silver and decapitates the bear as you hear the Garou howl. Hunt them down, my warriors. Go. As you reconnect with Kyle and Mark as you are ready to hunt.
I don't even know what to say. I thought we had gotten past this.
Something troubles you, Two-Hearts?
Yes. I mean, doesn't it trouble you?
I'm sure many Garou are shaken by this news, but it is the way to defend Gaia. It must be done.
But they weren't hurting Gaia. They were doing what they could to help.
The bear changers hoard their knowledge. If they cared for Gaia, they would help us.
In the same way that we hoard our knowledge. I mean, they do what they can to help the earth. They do exactly what we do in a different way. They are fighting for Gaia in their own way.
You saw that the bear was tainted, Cora. Wherever it dwells, and whenever it breeds.
But what if it was telling the truth? What if it was just a rite that they had done, so that it could draw the taint from the earth, from the space around them?
You're giving the benefit of the doubt to worm spawn?
The Garou aren't worm spawn.
Wherever it dwells, Cora, it dwelled within him.
It's dwelled within us before. We were able to get rid of it. We were able to continue helping.
What are you talking about, Cora?
Don't you guys remember when B was around?
Worm isn't strong enough to corrupt a Garou.
Have you forgotten about the black spirals?
As they both look incredibly confused.
You know, the tribe, the white howlers that fell to the worm, dance the spiral, you know?
White howlers?
Dancers. Falling to the worm? You're speaking madness.
But I'm not.
We're the tribe of Garou.
You all were there.
Cora?
Where are you talking about? We are Garou. We are defenders of Gaia. We cannot be tainted.
Cora, as the rest of your previous life fade away, you've always been... Your family's moved across the steppes of Europe, hunter-gatherers, until you changed and you joined your brethren in culling the excess of humanity.
Have you ever spoken to a Garou?
Not outside of just now.
You didn't even speak to it.
Why would we speak to Worm Taint?
As the elder speaks up, why aren't you three hunting?
We're leaving now. Come on, guys.
As you move through, you see the Garou trying to run away from others. It gets away, but you guys will be able to sneak up and kill it by yourself. You'll be able to nab lots of glory, perhaps even enough so that you can face your rank challenge.
Come on, guys, let's follow it. I want to follow it until it kind of stops, and then talk to it.
As you follow, the bear turns around as it shifts into its Krynos, breathing heavily.
Wait. Kyle, can you What does it look like? Does it
It's
look
slashed up from other Garou attacking it.
painted at all? Like festering wounds and things like that, like the other
Not
one
that
had?
not that you can see.
Okay, Kaio. Use your fang.
If you insist.
I do.
As you use it and it doesn't change,
You're not tainted.
none of us are.
If it can resurrect the dead, why couldn't they hide their taint? It seems a trifle to me.
Could be worm trickery.
Do you really think that our fetishes would be that weak? Garou, why did Kyle's fang glow for the worm taint?
We perform rites to draw the taint of the worm into ourselves to heal the land. It creates great wounds on us, and as we heal it, the taint goes away.
It is a simple fetish, Cora, one worthy of even a Cleoth. Are you really going to listen to his worm-tainted words?
Look at him. Everything that we've seen that has been tainted has had festering wounds, disgusting fur. It's clearly been tainted. And your fang has not steered us wrong before, until perhaps just a little while ago, before we left the sept. So yeah, you can see with your eyes, there is no taint physically visible. Your fang has clearly shown that there is no taint within him.
Do we kill it or not? Cora?
No, we don't.
Rhea, I advise against this.
And I advise you to just listen. What if what we've been taught was wrong? Not all of it, but
Cora, you lose 5 temporary glory, and the whole area transitions away. You're in metal armor, a member of the Shadow Lords. Your fellow Shadow Lords with you, conquistadors, Kyle and Mark, moving through the jungles as you start approaching one of the cities, as you and your tribe are the first to come to this new continent and claim it in the name of the Shadow Lords. When you see the Bat Changer tearing out the heart of a creature, burning it above it, as you see the head Shadow Lord going, "These dark rituals. These creatures are of the worm. Kill them!" Cora, do you join them?
no.
You lose 5 temp glory as you are lifted out of the fire and you see the silver creature looking at you going,
What was the lesson?
Following orders blindly and not worrying about what exactly I'm doing can damage and hurt more than what people think. And even if someone thinks that it's the right thing, it can be far worse. Just following those orders can be far worse than trying to figure out another way on your own.
Cora, before you came here, before you had a rude awakening, what made you different than the Garou of the past?
I wasn't.
Correct. You were the Elder calling for blood.
As you get flung and you move down the river. Mark, it's another day at the Sacred Stone. There's a grand moot happening as you awaken alongside your companions.
I will greet them, and I will greet the morning sun with Gaia.
As you do so, the sun shines in. You feel the warmth on your back as Kyle approaches you.
Guards the Low, it's good to see you this morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I've just awoken, but I feel embraced by Helios already. And how about yourself?
Oh, good. Thinking about Unity. I'm going to be talking to the council to talk about it.
Is there anything that you would like help with? Maybe some other pointers? Or maybe to share?
Well, I'd love it if you could be there.
I'd be honored to speak at this council.
You see Cora walk up. She seems proud, her hand wrapped around her glaive, a smile upon her face.
Two-Hearts, you have a victorious smile upon you, and a mighty fine clave you have.
Cora will hold her clave. Just, symbol of the Arun. We never back down from challenges, she says, putting it over her shoulders.
But of course, legends of Arun throughout the tribes are within our stories. And you most likely a part of them too, Two-Hearts.
Oh, and it is such a beautiful symbol. I've been thinking myself that I should get, well, a set of scales for justice and balance. It's very philodoxy.
Very fitting for you.
Of course.
As you start hearing the calls and the howls at the moot proper.
Oh, Gardzilla, we should make our way.
Yes, let's.
As you start moving through, you see Steven. Kyle, how's it going?
Oh, good, and you?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, as he seems to whisper something into your ear. Just between us, right?
Of course.
As he walks away and Kyle approaches you.
Hey, Kyle, you're pretty good friends with Steven, aren't you?
Oh, I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's great. He's great. He's a good guy, definitely.
He is. Kyle will lean in and whisper to Mark. He just told me about a secret stash of booze he's got.
Oh, really? I didn't know you partook.
Who doesn't?
You hear Bloodwind going, Cora Two-Hearts!
Bloodwind.
Are you ready for a challenge then? A fight as Arun do?
Definitely. Sounds fantastic. Yaru never back down.
Perfect. We will march to the fighting circle. It'll be a few minutes. Don't worry, Mark. If the fight is strong enough, maybe she'll be able to hear you at the council. A couple bruises later.
We'll see who has the bruises. Bloodwind.
As you start making your way to the council, as you see the several members of Older Brother, as well as a child of Gaia, sitting on the council. As the Uktena seem a bit exasperated, Kyle guards the low. What do we owe the pleasure?
Well, I come before you to speak of unity. I believe that unity is the goal to which we must strive. Unity of purpose, of fairness, of justice. We as a whole must strive to bring in the rest of the nation. And in order to do that, I really do think that the Uktena must step down. They've done nothing but foster disunity this entire time.
As you see their anger kind of grow as they go, and the children of Gaia have?
Of course. Why else would you be here?
Jaws dropping. Mark, you noticed that Cora walked with you to the council. Like she didn't even go to the ring with Bloodwind.
Two-Hearts, what are you doing here? Don't you have your duel with Bloodwind?
Oh. That. Of course. I need to save my strength for some real opponents.
But going back on a duel, you could lose standing and honor in the tribes, the nation.
Never. An Arun. Again a Fenris. To my core. That won't happen.
Kyle guards the low. Did you just come here to insult Older Brother?
I hardly think it's insulting when it's exactly what has taken place.
As there's growls and snapping.
Guards the low, Rhea, are these words of your true feeling?
The children of Gaia have allowed Older Brother some token positions so that they can feel as if they are part of this nation. But they are squandering their opportunity and are hurting our chances at unity.
As one of the council members comes up, grabs Kyle, shifts into Krynos, and socks him in the face as you see several teeth go splattering across the ground.
Mark is going to stand up and call for a little order and then go down to Kyle and... Rhea, what is going on? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. If only I had the right props. You know, like I mentioned, the scale. The scale would help. They'd surely understand if I had one.
What would an object have anything to do with this?
What a silly question. If a clave would help in battle, surely a scale would help in this.
You hear howls. There's an emergency. There are spirals in the bond. Battle is upon you. Packs must go out and enter the Umbra. As you pass into the Umbra, you see a spiral elder, Arun, of unimaginable strength, balefire, forming with every step as it draws a clave.
Mark, summon a spirit. Summon something to help us.
As it starts to move, and you notice Cora is just running away, not confronting, just dodging and frightfully swinging her clave behind her in an attempt not to get hit, as Kyle begins calling for unity against the Black Spiral Dancers while doing absolutely nothing to fight it.
Mark's just gonna stand there in a little disbelief and just not seriously walk up to the Black Spiral. This is a circus I see before me. What is this? This isn't the nation that I see. Or know.
Alright, it gets 5 roller over on you as you've walked up to the spiral.
Oof. I need to give a roll, right?
Yeah, well, no, it is a clave.
Oof.
So you take 6 aggravated damage as the blade comes down and your left arm is clipped from the elbow as it goes flying off. As you drop to your knee, as blood's just bleeding through your hands. Luckily, it's lethal because you're in Homid form. Or Ag. It's still an Ag, but it's not Silver Ag.
Mark, summon a spirit. They come instantly in the cairn. Don't you remember?
As you were calling, that is what you remember. Of course. It's always been that way.
Mark will summon a spirit then.
All right.
And he's going to summon Winds of the Mountain.
All right. So you do. As Winds of the Mountain appears and throws itself at the spiral as it picks him up in a tornado and throws him as he smashes against a tree and dies as Winds of the Mountain looks at you and goes,
I am the winds of battle.
I did not summon Winds of Battle. I summoned Winds of the Mountain.
I am winds of the mountain, but I am winds of battle now too. Constantly drawn into war. My nature absorbs it. To view spirits as tokens of war, do you not think we will change? But go back to my realm. Summon me whenever you wish another wretched throne. I will have my fun. Soon, Mark guides the fallen.
and the spirit vanishes. It is the next day. Several tornadoes hit Colorado Springs, all over the city. The screams can be heard even here in the Sacred Stone, and looking in the Umbra, you see Winds of the Mountain laughing, throwing himself through buildings and smashing them and casting them aside.
Mark will change into Krynos, and he'll basically scream as loud as he can.
What madness am I witnessing? All these straw men, all these scarecrow of those that I love, of those that I look up to.
Winds of the Mountain simply forms in front of you and goes,
What do you mean? You always call us for violence, Mark. You summon spirits for violence, and so violence becomes a part of us. No, you're all exaggerations. You're all caricatures. You're...
as you feel yourself being ripped out of the rivers of molten silver, as you see your clothes burned away and the charred flesh slowly regenerating. You see the horrifying silver Krynos, its arm wrapping over your glabro shoulder, its fingers extra long so that it can hold all of you as it pulls up, the pulsing violet going.
What was the lesson?
That what I know, what I see in other tribes, what I see in my packmates, is very little. I know nothing. All I see is just fronts. All I see are just ideas. I don't know who anyone truly is.
Oh dear.
As you feel the fingers slide back and you plop back in. Mark, it's a wonderful day at the Sacred Stone. The howls of the moot are in the distance, etc., as Kyle comes and greets you. Pleasant as always.
Garcelo, what brings you here to me?
Oh, I thought you might like to join me. I'm going to be speaking to the council later about unity.
Oh, of course. Any particular points you were going to talk about? It's definitely a deep topic.
Why unity, of course.
Just unity?
Well, unity, balance, justice.
Oh.
Things a child of Gaia or a Philodox should speak on.
Well, true, but unity of what? The justice of what? The balance of what?
The Garou, Mark.
Cora approaches as you see her clinging happily to her clave. She's got to be happy. This is the only time she's going to get one in this whole campaign.
Don't say that.
Burn!
Got him!
Burn!
Unless you take it off a dead comrade.
This was Mark's trial, but Cora got burned.
Two-Hearts. You have a clave, I see, finally.
Yeah, isn't it great? Symbol of the Arun.
Well, definitely it's an object of the Arun, but it's not just the only symbol of the Arun, is it?
I mean, we've got claves, we've got Jarl hammers, strong stuff that doesn't break, things that don't back down from a fight.
Well, true, and as you're living up to your Geta Fenris upbringing, certainly it's more than just war that you bring. What of the teachings of discipline and rightful pride in oneself?
Oh, of course. That all plays into it. But yeah.
Okay. Kyle, shall we go to the council?
Yes, I think it's about that time.
As you get to the council, same exact thing plays out as Kyle is lifted up and punched in the face as you hear under the breaths of some final day's whelp.
Kyle's gonna look down to Kyle and say, kinda seems like you deserved it there, with the things that you were talking about the Uktena. And this is new. Where is this coming from?
I suppose you don't understand either. I really should get a scale.
Scale? How can you be focusing on that when you just got punched in? This is a grand moot! What are you doing? There are more important things other than the scale to be thinking of.
So you hear howls. Black spirals are attacking. To arms.
Maybe something that could help. Come on, guards the low. Rhea.
And so you enter the Umbra as you see the great spiral elder once again. Cora giving a half-hearted attack, hoping that someone else will aid her as she calls out about summoning a spirit, that they come instantaneously in the Cairn. We all remember.
Mark will summon the spirit, replay pretty much, but as he's doing it, he's pretty much going to call Cora a coward and Kyle an overly burdened and too focused, too driven person.
Wind of the Mountain arrives, once again throws the spiral, killing it, and the next day, nothing but tornadoes as a hurricane also hits Colorado Springs. Somehow, once again controlled by Winds of the Mountain, as he revels in the violence that has been taken within him.
Mark's gonna use Command Spirit on him to stop.
And he turns and he looks and goes,
You always wanted me to wage war before. Because it is not yours to wage war. You summon me to wage war. You make violence a part of me, make it part of my very nature, and then deny.
Before you are lifted out of the silver, and the great guardian looks at you and goes,
Have you had better luck this time? Have you thought?
These visions again are riddled with caricature and straw man. I have been out of place. In my vision, I spoke to Winds of the Mountain, how it is not his place to wage war, yet I summon him. It was not he, it was me. It is not my place. War, conflict, it's not my nature. I am supposed to be, but yet I fight it, and I wage a war that I cannot fight, and I cultivate a rage that I cannot sustain.
You have found a piece of the puzzle, but do not think of strawmen and caricatures. Think of parody. To take an aspect of a soul and exaggerate it so that it can look inward. Gaze within yourself, Mark, for your final turn-in. Sometimes we see things we don't wish to see, but it is essential that we see it.
As it slowly lowers you down, it looks hopeful, but concerned. What part would you like to replay in this whole thing?
I really feel that picking up from the console, like at the start of it, from when Kyle begins his rant against the Utena, pretty much.
I have come here to speak to unity. Older brother and younger brother spend their time lamenting their losses instead of moving towards anything worth a damn. The Black Furies are obsessed with gender and refuse to come together with others. The Geta Fenris only love battle and nothing else. The Silent Striders are obsessed with their past. So many of our tribes are weak, pathetic, left in the dust. This is why we should unite into one tribe, so that the children of Gaia can help all of you with your flaws. As a Philodox, I speak with balance and see both sides. Believe me, I have your best interests at heart.
Guardian, I think I see now.
As the whole thing melts away, your eyes burn away for just a moment because you opened them in molten silver, and that tends to happen. As you are lifted up and your eyes regenerate.
These visions I see are based what I see. Being held by him, Mark's eyes will widen while gazing down at the molten silver. There wasn't balance of intention or action. That's what I saw. Cora spoke of being an Arun, but did not act as such. Kyle spoke of being a Philodox, but did not act as such.
And you?
I speak as a child of Gaia, as a Thurge, as a caretaker, as a tender. But I only act as a destroyer.
Yes.
Toss as you move down the river. Dimitri. Sweet, caring Dimitri. You find yourself in lupus form, unable to change. As you walk down the street in downtown Colorado Springs. You see Veronica, Casey, her son Tim, Mallory, Barry. They're all here. And as you walk, no one seems to notice that a wolf walking downtown.
It is a little strange that I'm a whole wolf just walking downtown, but Dimitri sees his old friends again, and he doesn't really think, he just rushes towards them.
Hey, Dim! As Veronica drops and rubs his ear and his fur, getting a nice good scratch in.
Feels like forever since the last time I saw you.
As she seems to understand, she goes, "Really? I don't know about that, but it's good to see you all the same, Dim."
I mean, it feels like forever since I've seen everybody together again.
Really? As you see Tim pull on your fur a little bit, and he goes, Dimitri.
Yes, Tim?
Can you tell me stories about my dad? I'm having trouble remembering his face.
Sure. Is there a specific story you want to hear, or
just about him, please?
Yeah, sure. And Dimitri will sit down and tell him a story about his father.
As you try and tell him a story of his father, you're howling. You howl as the Garou do. You tell a beautiful song through the howls, but everyone looks at you with confusion in their eyes as Casey goes, sure, that'd be nice, Dim, but can you say it in a way we understand? We don't understand howls.
But you can understand me just fine right now.
But yeah, you're talking normal right now. So come on, don't be an ass. Tell the kid a story about his dad.
And he'll try to tell the same story again.
And it keeps coming out as howls and yips. You know, bystanders are starting to look, being really concerned by the howling. And you see Tim kind of just looking dejected.
Wait, what's wrong? Do you not like the story?
I don't understand it, Dimitri. We've already said that. You gotta tell it in a way I understand it. I don't understand you.
Well, I don't know how else to tell it. I'm in my lupus form.
Dimitri, we can all understand you now. You're talking just normal. Now just talk about my dad. Please? You try. You howl. To those who can hear it, it is a beautiful rendition filled with a heartfelt sorrow. But they can't. And you find yourself in Sacred Stone, naked, Hamid form, walking on all four legs, as you see Remembers the Hunt, Bloodwind Calls the Night, and Running Star all in their lupus forms, seeming to talk amongst themselves. Bloodwind turns with a sneer as you approach, though Calls the Night will chastise him. Stop it. It is not his fault he does not know himself. As they start talking about how they hunt for the worm, the scent, spotting the broken brush, the leaf out of place, and how they came together and took a worm beast down. Running Star looks at you and speaks regally, as is the Silver Fang way, and politely asks you, How do you like to hunt, Dimitri? What is your preferred method as a fellow lupus? As you stand there in Hamid, or crouch there in Hamid.
Oh, I remember back when I lived in the sept of the Winterfang, I would go hunting with the kinfolk. I would scare the prey out from hiding.
You see all of them just seem really put off by your answer, though Calls the Night says lowly, Remember, when suddenly your pack arrives, you see Roy and Zeb approaching.
Howls-In-Memory.
Zeb, Roy, how are you two
Greetings.
doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing alright. I was just speaking to the others here about our preferred ways to hunt.
It's very interesting, Dimitri, but we have something we need to go check out.
Oh, what is it?
I'll shift.
Okay, what form are you taking?
I will take Lupus.
He takes Lupus. Dimitri, you feel yourself shift into Lupus along with Zeb. As he starts running off, as you start moving, and you feel yourself pulled along with him. And you're not running, but you're going at the same speed as him.
It's a weird feeling, but I'll go along with Zeb. I'm not going to fight it.
You get there and you see this dead animal. It's a wolf. It just lying there, dead in the sun. Looks like it came from upstate somewhere. As you look over it.
How do wolves honor their dead? Howls-In-Memory. That's why I brought you here. I could think of a pyre for another Hamid, a grave marker, a mausoleum, a great statue, but what of the lupus?
I'm sorry, Zeb, but I don't know.
As you are pulled up from the silver, you notice that you're caught on a stone as the river's going, as you've been dunked underground. There's almost no lights except for the dim glow of the silver, your guardian looking over you.
What is the meaning of this vision? What did you see? What did you learn? Why are you the way you are?
I am the way I am because I never learned. I was born a wolf, but I was never raised in the wild with them. And I don't fit in with the wolves, but I try to fit in with the humans because I don't know where else I belong.
Did you belong with them?
No, I don't belong with them.
How has that affected you?
It's lonely, it's isolating. It feels like anyone I try to get close to looks down on me because I don't understand them, or they pity me because I'm trying to be something that I'm not.
You're very close, Dimitri. One more, I think, and you will understand it. Look to your pack and how they make you feel, and how that could lead you astray.
As it pushes you down, as you once again walk through Colorado Springs as the Lupus, as you see your kin chatting a bit before Tim once again asks you for a story of his father, for he has forgotten what his face looks like since the raid. You howl the stories and he keeps crying to asking you to tell a real story, not to howl at him, before returning to the sacred stone and being stuck in Hamid form as the Lupus talk amongst themselves, ask you kind questions, and are put off by your strange answers before Roy and Zeb appear. And Roy and Zeb seem to go off. Zeb, what form are you taking to run off?
We'll take Hamid this time.
As he takes Hamid, and your clothes reappear, and you're able to walk upright like him before getting to the body of the wolf, and he asks you how to bury a wolf before you're picked up through the silver, and the Guardian once again asks,
Do you have the final piece for me?
Once again, you not walking with Zeb, you're dragged along, just like before.
Well, neither of my packmates are Lupus. They're both Hamid. I suppose they could lead me astray by helping me believe that I belong with humans.
Yes, they do lead you, and you follow without thinking.
As they throw you off a waterfall, and you dunk into the next part of your vision. Roy, you wake up in Seattle. Your throat scar gone. The whole Garou thing, a distant dream. As your alarm goes off.
I'll wake up, kind of get the sleepies out of my eyes, and hit the alarm.
Door is kind of bursts open as Jazzy comes in. What up, motherfucker?
Jazzy! Oh man, you're a sight for sore eyes.
What the fuck? We saw each other yesterday, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I had this weird ass dream.
Yeah?
Felt like I've been asleep for years.
I told you not to take our own product. Look, speaking of product, we're getting the family together. Meet me in the living room. I got great fucking news.
Fuck yeah. Alright, give me 5 minutes. Let me get dressed and I'll be right down.
You get dressed and you go down as you see Lisa, Tony, Sean, all sitting around. Is like, hey, as you see the smokes going, a couple old discarded beers from the night before.
Lisa, Tony, how you guys doing?
Good, man, good. Just good as last night.
Oof, some wild ass shit happened, huh?
Well, it sounds like it, man. You take a little too much. Jazzy was saying you said she was a sight for sore eyes. You'd think that, 8 hours would not be a long time for most people.
I must have. I don't remember much of last night at all, but this dream was vivid as if I lived it.
As you hear Jazzy,
some good product we're pushing.
As Jazzy comes in, flips the chair around and sits on it. Yeah, so we'll talk about, Roy's crystal experience later, all right? Oh, we'll get Gwyneth Paltrow on the phone. Anyway, what I was saying is I got in contact with a new chemist. We got new shit to push, and so we are gonna do, boys and girls, is we are gonna go to the club. We're gonna push it on a couple nice people. We'll do that, and then as the night winds down, that's when the real clientele comes out. past midnight. We sell what we need. The cops leave us alone. We are fucking made. Big ass money.
That's what I'd like to hear. So what's the catch?
She points to Roy. Fuck yeah. No catch, man. He just wants to see if we can do it. So he's given us a lot. I put a little up front. It's a gamble. But if this shit is as good as your weird star dreams that you seem to be having are, then we are going to do fucking fine.
Alright, count me in. Let's do this.
Night comes as you guys go to the club and you start selling. There are some people buying right away. They're the party lifestyler who just have fun. Though, Roy, out of the corner of your eye, you notice this kind of wispy child. Black hair, pale skin, gaunt. It seems to watch every one of your deals just at the corner of your vision.
Every time I turn, does it stay outside of my vision?
Almost until you sell. When you sell and you look at the child, they seem to just neutral look. And if you try to approach them, at least initially, they seem to disappear.
Okay.
The club starts to wind down as you guys go back onto the streets. It's late evening, possibly early morning. Who the fuck can tell with how busy you've been? A man approaches you. His clothes are in tatters. His face is sunken and he's shivering, but he's got a fistful of bills. As he goes, "Hey man, how much?"
Hey, what?
I'll buy.
For this product, $120.
Perfect. He pulls it out as you get this kind of wisp of almost cigar smoke just out of perception, just beyond your senses, and you notice that the child smiles just a little bit. His eyes seem to light up. Two others approach. They're normal folk, buying as the child's reaction doesn't seem to change it at all. Until you see a woman approach who's in a very similar position as the man, as she goes, You still got some, friend?" As she smiles, missing teeth. She hasn't seen a shower in at least 6 months, and her clothes haven't seen a laundromat in twice as long at least. She goes, How much, friend?"
$120. It's some good product.
Awesome, thanks. And she puts the money in your hand, and the child smiles again. The child just sits there laughing at you and doesn't seem to move from the spot that he was in, as if he is material.
I'm going to go ahead and approach the child if I can at this time.
You do? As the child looks at you, grin ear to ear.
What is a kid like you doing out this late in a place like this?
You've always been mine, Roy Mindscape. You turn away from what poisons me. You flatten what can combat me. And my greatest weakness is your greatest curse. As you're pulled from the silver, and the Guardian looks, its eyes gleaming terrible. All pity is gone.
What have you learned? What was the meaning of the vision?
I learned that my past was me pushing the worm onto desperate people in need of help. It was me doing what I needed to do to survive, but I have other choices that I could have done. I could have made.
Think again. Think to what it means. There are no more hints, Roy Mindscape.
As it dunks you down into the silver, your alarm clock going off.
I'll wake up.
You wake up as Jazzy comes in. Whoa, yo, motherfucker, get up. We got shit to do.
Okay, give me a couple minutes, I'll be downstairs.
You go downstairs, as you see everyone hanging around as Jazzy comes in, talking about the chemist, the new product. Same plan. As you go to the club, you see the child. Bunch of casual party goers enjoying the stuff as you go to the street. And the desperate man approaches you.
Hey man, I can't sell you this product. You look like you could use some help.
Okay, man. What? As he kind of walks away. And once you do that, you shift into Glabro form. As you see Jazzy, Sean, and Lisa looking at you with a bit of... And Tony looking at you with a bit of disgust, as Tony goes, "What the fuck, man? You changing on us?"
I think so.
Fuck, man. Okay, whatever. Gross. Well, you still gonna sell a little bit? Mr. Compass? I mean, shit. If we're not gonna sell to him, someone else is, alright? And that's gonna push us out of our turf. So, before you get too noble, remember that this helps keep a roof over your fucking head.
Haven't you thought what we're doing to these people? They might need help.
Lots of people need help. Lots of people like to party. I don't see what the big fucking deal is.
Did he look like he wanted to party?
It looks like he partied long and hard. But like I said, if we don't sell to him, it's going to be someone else. Look, I'm not sympathetic to the dude, but it's not my problem. Why should I do anything for some dude I don't even know? Anyway, man, try and keep selling, right? We put a little bit of money on this. As they walk away, 2 more appear. Once again, casual partygoers asking to buy. Before the woman arrives, and she goes, "How much, sir?"
I can't sell to you either.
Why?
You look like you need help. Let me give you a hand.
As you do, you shift into Krynos as your family run away, as they talk about not fucking with dealers like you. The child is there, scowling, angry. "So you accept your curse. Very well. Perhaps I was wrong about you, Roy Mindscape. To die under the curse that held your parents towards the end, giving up on their freedom, just as you do now." As you are dragged from the silver, and the Guardian looks at you.
I look forward to your answer.
Okay, Guardian, I believe I have the answer. It is that I have been rejecting my very nature as Garou from the moment I was born until now. And it's always been in the back of my mind. And now I truly accept this curse is a gift to be truly free and make my own choices.
You are close. So very close. Look deeper.
As it just goes.
There are no more hints.
So you drop in, and it plays out again. Which parts would you like to focus on?
I think it's got to be the 2 ragged individuals.
Okay. So you get to the first ragged individual. What would you like to do? Sell or not sell?
Not sell. But I do have a question.
Sure.
In this vision, do they look like my parents?
No, they just look like people who are just real bad addicts.
Okay.
Real bad addicts who have not been able to get the help they need. When you don't sell, you see Jazzy. They all talk to you. They go, "Look, man, why should you care about some junkie? If he wants to help himself, there's a rehab center right up the way. Look,
because
why do you have to get involved?"
Because if I don't, who will?
What, you their keeper now?
No, but we have choices in our lives that we make. And I'm gonna start making the right choices.
Okay, Roy.
Because it's about time.
It's whatever, man. If you want to play Noble Knight, I ain't gonna care. Whatever. They're not my responsibility. As the second woman comes up to you, as she shakes and asks how much.
Let me walk you to the rehab center. Let me be that person that helps you.
As you walk her over, and she seems scared, but she thanks you. As you see the child's anger in his eyes going.
I'll walk up to the child.
Okay.
Fuck you, addiction. You hold nothing over me.
I'm not addiction. He's here. He's my child. One of them. Because without me, addiction would never exist in such abundance. I lived in your family. I lived in your parents until they found my poison. As he looks up at your Krynos form. You've tied my bane to your gift. You've always been this. I am the man who walks down the street and ignores the homeless. I am the dealer who lets the junkie buy my product. I am the simplest of them all, because through me, you don't have to do anything at all.
Apathy?
As you get pulled up,
I've let my inactions cause severe, irreparable damage. It is through my inactions that I have festered the worm because of my curse. But it is not a curse no more, and with it is a gift that I shall take action to help others.
I think you're close enough to the point.
as you get flung down the waterfall and move on to the next step. And we'll see how our other heroes prevail next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We will catch you in that next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.